One summer, my neighbor walked out into his yard again with his huge sprayer. It was almost 35 degrees Celsius. The sun was literally burning the grass. And for the next 2 hours, he slowly walked around his property, destroying everything that broke through the perfectly even green lawn. Dandelions, clover, low-growing plants near the path, small green carpets between the paving stones, some wild leaves along the fence. When he finished, he stepped back, set down the sprayer, looked at his perfectly clean yard, and looked very pleased with himself. And I stood near my fence and thought, you just destroyed a plant that is sold as a superfood in some countries. A plant that fine dining restaurants use for plating dishes. A plant that contains a huge amount of omega-3. A plant that was used as medicine for centuries. And a plant that could have improved your soil for free. And the strangest thing is, just a few years ago, I would have done exactly the same thing. Here's what almost nobody tells modern lawn and garden owners. Many plants that people call weeds are actually edible, rich in minerals, help the soil, support pollinators, hold moisture, and sometimes turn out to be more useful than the plants people intentionally grow in their gardens. But for decades, people have been sold the same idea. A good yard is a yard where nothing grows except grass, and the cleaner the yard is, the better it supposedly is. Today, I'm going to show you 10 plants that may be growing near your house right now, and most people destroy them without even realizing how valuable they are. One of them contains more omega-3 than spinach. Another was used by doctors back in ancient Greece. And one plant closer to the end of the video is so nutritious that its relative is now sold in stores as an expensive superfood. And after this video, you probably won't look at your lawn the same way again. But before we begin, one important thing. Never eat wild plants unless you are 100% sure of the identification. Some plants have dangerous lookalikes. Always double-check information through several sources. All right. Let's start with a plant almost every lawn owner hates. Dandelion. You've seen it your whole life. That yellow flower that appears every spring right in the middle of perfectly cut grass and makes people buy even more chemicals. My father used to pay me as a child for every dandelion I pulled out. And now I understand. We were both wrong, because literally every part of the dandelion is edible. The leaves, the roots, the flowers. Young leaves are added to salads. The roots are dried and made into a drink similar to coffee. The flowers are used to make syrups and even wine. But the most interesting part isn't even that. Dandelion appears as one of the first plants in spring. When the garden is still empty, the earth is already giving you greens. And this is a very old pattern in nature. Many weeds appear before cultivated plants precisely because they are meant to quickly restore the soil after winter. But instead, people try to destroy them first. And here's what's especially strange. Today, dandelion greens are sold in health food stores. People pay money for something millions of other people are trying to completely destroy in their own yards right now. The next plant is something most people literally step on every day. Plantain. And no, not banana plantain. I'm talking about the low-growing plant with broad leaves and thick veins that grows. Near pathways, in cracks, along lawns, and in almost every yard. This is one of the most underrated plants of all. Crush a fresh plantain leaf and place it on an insect bite, and the itching starts to calm down within just a few minutes. People used this long before pharmacy creams existed. But here's what's even more interesting. Plantain grows exactly where the soil is heavily compacted. In fact, it shows you the problem area. So many weeds are also indicators of the condition of the soil. Nature is literally showing you, there is a soil problem here. But instead of reading that signal, people simply spray everything with chemicals. Now, a plant that most people barely even notice. Chickweed. A low, soft green carpet with tiny white flowers. It usually appears in early spring in damp places. Most people pull it out without a second thought. Although, at the very moment when the garden is still empty after winter, chickweed is already completely ready to eat. It is soft, fresh, tender. It contains minerals and vitamins, and it is one of the earliest free harvests the earth gives. But modern people have become so used to fighting everything extra that they have stopped noticing the value around them. Now, one of the craziest plants in this whole video, purslane. And if you've ever pulled it out of your garden beds, you're not alone. Low reddish stems, small fleshy leaves. It grows in heat, in dry soil, near pathways, between paving stones, where other plants literally burn. And this is where it gets really interesting. Purslane is one of the richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids in general. It contains a huge amount of antioxidants, vitamin A, vitamin E, minerals, and a high level of healthy fatty acids. Some studies have even examined its effect on inflammation, heart health, and blood sugar, but most people still consider it just a useless weed. In France, purslane is sold at markets. In Mexico, it is used in traditional cuisine, and fine dining restaurants buy it as an expensive green. And while someone is paying money for it, millions of people continue destroying it with herbicides. And in moments like this, you start to understand how many truly valuable plants modern culture has simply written off as weeds. Now let's talk about a plant that helps not only people, but the soil itself. Red clover. Those small pink-purple flowers in the lawn. Most people see them as a sign of a bad yard. But clover does something gardeners usually pay money for. It fixes nitrogen. That means it helps naturally improve the soil. In fact, it is a tiny living fertilizer factory. And at the same time, it feeds bees, holds moisture, protects the ground from overheating, makes the lawn more resilient in the heat, and helps keep it green even in difficult conditions. And here's what's especially interesting. Clover used to be intentionally added to lawn grass mixes. But then the herbicide industry started selling chemicals against broadleaf plants. And clover was suddenly called the enemy of the perfect lawn, even though before that it was intentionally grown. Now one of the most unexpected plants, wood sorrel. Most people mistake it for small clover. 3 heart-shaped leaves, small yellow flowers. But the taste, that is a completely different story. It is sour, fresh, almost lemony. As if nature built lemon right into the leaf. Children are usually shocked when they try it for the first time. And here's what's interesting. In expensive restaurants, wood sorrel is used as decorative greens and microgreens for plating dishes. And for most people, it grows for free near the house. Now a plant that people especially hate. Garlic mustard, an invasive weed. One that many people try to completely destroy, but the leaves smell like garlic. They taste like a mix of greens and mustard. It is used to make pesto, added to dishes, used as greens. And this is one of the strangest paradoxes of the modern world. People simultaneously destroy the plant and buy a similar flavor in the store for money. Now a plant that looks like weed spinach. Lamb's quarters, a tall plant with grayish-green leaves. Most people pull it out immediately. Although nutritionally, it is often compared to spinach. But here's what makes the situation even stranger. Lamb's quarters seeds are relatives of quinoa. The same quinoa people pay a lot of money for today. In fact, a wild relative of an expensive superfood could be growing right now near the fence of your house. And moments like this completely change the way you look at weeds. Because you begin to understand, very often these are simply plants that know how to survive without human help. Now a plant that many people are genuinely afraid of. Nettle. Yes, that one. The one that burns your skin. But after cooking, the sting disappears completely. And what remains is iron, calcium, minerals, a huge amount of nutrients, and one of the most nutrient-dense green plants of all. In Europe, nettle tea has long been an ordinary product, and nettle soup existed long before modern superfoods. But in most yards, people still see it only as a problem. Now a plant that looks almost like a small green carpet. Creeping Charlie. A creeping plant that slowly takes over lawns. Most people hate it so much that they are ready to pour chemicals over the entire yard. But historically, it was used for tea, as a medicinal plant, and even in old European brewing. And then the modern world suddenly decided that all of this needed to be destroyed. And now, the final plant. The one I saved especially for the end. Curly dock. Tall, wavy leaves, a long, powerful root. It usually grows in poor soil and near roads. Most people see it as useless wild grass. But historically, curly dock roots were used for infusions, in folk medicine, and the seeds were sometimes ground into flour. The more you start studying plants like this, the more you understand one simple thing. Nature is constantly trying to give something to humans: food, minerals, greens, plants for the soil, support for pollinators, medicinal plants. But modern people have been taught to see only a problem in it. Next week, my neighbor will go outside again with his sprayer. And again, he will spend money to destroy plants that people in other places are willing to pay for. And I will most likely be standing on the other side of the fence, gathering purslane for a salad, watching clover full of bees, and understanding how strange the modern view of nature has become. Because now I don't see weeds. I see plants that the earth continues to offer people for free, no matter how stubbornly they try to destroy them.